Hello, you're welcome. I'm Kibuuka Ajuna Kibuuka. I'm here today to talk about the most historical and important event, the Empango that happens in Bunyoro Kingdom that is in Uganda, East Africa. Today I'm here with an expert, a historian and a teacher in this field. You're most welcome.
Thank you, Caroline, and hello everyone. My name is Hadijah Kisembo Mbabazi Atoki Msitakati. I'm a history teacher and I happen to be the current chair of Bunyoro Development Association in the UK. I'm glad to be here.
Can you explain to our viewers what Empango means and why it happens every yearly? Is it?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Caroline. The Empango is an annual activity that is currently celebrated once every year in Bunyoro Development, in Bunyoro Kingdom. It originates from the fact that in the past, Bunyoro, you all know it used to be a mighty kingdom within the interlacustrine region. And it originates from the fact that once upon a time, that royal clan of Tibamlinde belonged to the Abasita clan. But it so happened that there was famine and some women were giving birth and they needed food, and the Abasita clan did not have food. And yet the Babito people had food. So due to the importance the Abasita people attached to their women, they decided to exchange their drum authority for them to get food from the Babito. So they got food, and at the same time they were given millet, which was food, and up to now we take millet to be our traditional dish. Now when they did that, the first time the Babito got the clan, they had to drum it to show that they've now got the authority. So you'll find that for every king in Bunyoro, the first time they are coming on the throne, they have to drum that Tibamlinde drum. It's like a royal regalia.
Let's just get this clear. You just said every clan when they're coming on the throne. Do you want to mean that the Bunyoro Kingdom leadership rotates just like the Busoga Kingdom, or we have one particular clan that rules throughout the reign of Bunyoro Kingdom?
Thank you. It's the Babito dynasty that is in power. But if you look at the current kingdom, the current king, Rukiravasaija Gutamba Iguru, he's the 27th king. So for every king that has come on the throne, he has to drum that as a symbol of acquiring the sovereignty of ruling that kingdom. But what happens when the king dies, which we call Oktuza, that drum is put upside down until the next king comes on the throne. Then they will put it up again for that king to. So it's the Empango in general is a kind of celebration that happens to remember, like the birthday of that person, the day that person got onto the throne. And previously we would have like those celebrations twice a year during the harvesting season. Still it goes back to the history of how there was an exchange between food and the real. But because of resources and because of the changing environment, I think they decided now it will always be only once a year. But it has a lot of rituals that are involved.
Okay, that's a good point. So what I gather from your explanation is that Bunyoro, the Babito, got the leadership from the Basita because of interchanging food, because a woman needed to eat and there was harvest. I mean, not harvest, there was famine. And that's how the Basita lost their leadership to the Babito.
Yes.
Good. That's good. Thank you. So explain more about this Empango. How is it done? How does the day begin and how does the day end of the Empango?
Thank you, Caroline. It is a process that takes so many months when they are preparing, because it is during that day that the people in Bunyoro come together at that place. But what is more important is historical, is for us to know what kind of rituals are involved, especially on that very day. The rituals begin as early as 3 a.m.,
wow,
we are told. And during that day of the Empango celebration, you'll see the Basita, gathering at a hill,
wow,
with their drum, the Tibamlinde. Now that drum, and for them to gather there, it still shows the importance that they actually had it before, and up to today they are respected, that they will be the first people to have it there, to drum it. And after that, then a procession from that hill will go through Mugabante, you know, the gate there, and there will be people following until the drum is given to the king. Okay. And in that royal procession, we've got different people involved that accompany the drum when the Basita are taking it there. One of the clan leaders of the Abasuli heads the procession, and among those there are other clans also, like Abahamba. Abahamba will be carrying a rake with a sack of millet there, showing how we treasure farming in the kingdom of Bunyoro Ktara. And among the other rituals is that previously we are told it would take 9 days, different activities happening at different levels, yes, for 9 days. And we are also told that the king, before the Empango, would sleep on one side and not on, he would be meant to sleep on only one side for 9 days. So there is 9, the figure 9 becomes a very important day. But currently, the Empango celebrations actually takes 4 days. The 2 days are held at Karuzika, which is the main palace of Bunyoro Ktara. And then there is 1 day where they go to the Queen Mother's residence. Some rituals are performed there. And then the other one is they go to the Omkondwa's place. The Omkondwa was the fortune teller. Mm-hmm. There's a history around that. That fortune teller from the Omkondwa is the one who prophesied that Rukidi Mpuga I would be the first king of the Bunyoro dynasty, and indeed it happened. So up to today, we still cherish that. And because he was the first person to drum on the Tibamlinde, so that one is also part of the 4 days function that
wow,
takes place. Yeah.
That's that's no wonder we have, it is a very important and historical function. We are not speaking in Bunyoro right now because we are trying to explain this whole event, this important historical event happening in Bunyoro. So we want people to know what and why it is performed. Anything else that you want to tell viewers before we have a break?
Thank you, Caroline. I would actually want to emphasize the point that the Bunyoro Ktara kingdom is the oldest kingdom is one of the biggest kingdoms, especially in the Interlacustrine region. Biggest in the sense that all the other kingdoms like Buganda and Busoga, they actually emerged from Bunyoro. We've got a brief history there that Rukidi Mpuga's brother, Kato, disobeyed his brother and he went to Buganda. And when he went to Buganda, he went with one of the royal drums. And if you follow the history of Buganda, you'll find that the royal drum that is called Mujaguzo actually came from Bunyoro with Kato, who later changed his name to Kimera. Kimera meaning it came from a Bunyoro that I have germinated. So when Kato went to Buganda, he proclaimed himself the king there with the drum, the Mujaguzo, and then he said, now you cannot touch me, I've germinated, Mezere, Nyemereze. So that's where it comes from. And this, in the same way, the princes from Bunyoro are the princes that went and established the kingdoms in Busoga. So you'll find that even up to today, when the Basoga are being buried, they actually face Bunyoro where they came from. So there's a lot of history related to that. But I would like also to inform the viewers that Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom actually ruled up to Tanganyika as far as Karagwe. So, and the Babito dynasty is not the first one. We started with the Batembuzi, the Bachwezi, and the Babito dynasty. So it's all around our history.
Isn't that amazing how wonderful this history that we all do not know is being told today. And so is this event normally held on the 11th of June, or do the dates change?
Thank you, Caroline. The reason why it is held on the 11th is because of the current king, Rukirabasajja Gutamba Solomon Iguru. When he was enthroned, he was getting onto the throne again. You remember, after 1966, the kingdoms were abolished. And when they were abolished, the main royal drum, Tubamlinde, had to be turned upside down. It remained like that. And now when he was being enthroned again, that's the day he remembers. That's the day, his first day to drum on it. And that's why we are celebrating it every year on the 11th of June.
Yes.
But it can change, like I told you, that previously they would celebrate it twice a year, and during harvest season.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you very much, Hadijah Kisembo, for that rich history that you've just given to us. And for now, we'll go for a break and we'll come back later. We are back with our great lady, the historian, who knows the history of Bunyoro. Tugenda kubaza Omurunyoro hati mukyala Hadijah atugambira ebintu bino Omurunyoro ebyatugambira mu Rujungu ebikufa ha Bunyoro Kitara ni Empango ekiro ekyamaani ekimanyirwe mu Bunyoro yoona kandi kiro ekitwina kutukuza omu history ya Bunyoro, Hadijah, welcome back. Webale kugaruka.
Webale Ateenyi. Amabala gange ninyo Hadijah Kisembo Mbabazi Atuoki omusita kati kandi omujukuru wa Babito kati. Ekiro ekitukubazaho kya leero nikyo ekiro ky'Empango. Itwene kutumanyire kurungi ngo Bunyoro, Mukama bwa Bunyoro kiba ky'omuhendo, kandi abantu bayingi bakyetegekera kurora ngo bayina kubaho ha mukoro ogwo. Twakugondeze tugaruke enyuma tumanye habwaki Empango tugiteeka mu nekitiinisa itwe nk'Abanyoro. obutugaruka enyuma kurora omulingo gw'obunyoro obukama bwatandikiremu batwegesa ababaireho akasumi ako nibagamba nti omusumi bwaire hakabaho enjara kandi engoma egyo hati enyakwina babiito ekaba eri abasiita baitu abasiita bakaba n'obuzibu nti abakyala baabo bakaba nibazaara nibafa enjara kandi akasumi ako ababiito bakaba baine ebyokulya habwa engonzi nyingi ez'okurora ngu batagonze abantu baabo abakyala baabo kufa n'abantu boona okutwara hamu bacwamu bahanuura n'ababiito nti kakusangwa babaha engoma yaabo bo babaha ebyokulya baikiriza nahabwekyo kuruga obwo baikirize abasiita bakahayo engoma yaabo omu babiito kandi kuruga obwo ababiito bagitwaire batandika kuba nibo abantu abakulembera mu kingdom eya Bunyoro Kitara ekitwegama omuli ekyo nti abasiita bakehayo bayerekereza baitu obworolera Empango orora ngu ababiito habwaki baba ngu ekiro kino baina kikuza nikyo ekiro omukama ayabandize Mpuuga Rukidi yajumwire engoma omurunyiro tukweta okujumura ekire yatomere kugiteera yajumura engoma egyo now obwagijumura ekintu ekyo kikagenda mu maiso ngu buli mukama weena owababiito obwaba naija habukama aina kujumura engoma egyo obwatuuza akaba ngu runda rugiro mbomezi bwensi eno kutweta bwabatuulize engoma egyo bagijumika ekale ejumikirwe kuhika obutulitunga omukama ondi bakagijumukura akagiteera akagijumura so nikyoleka ngu hati atandikire kuba nakoraki natwara obukama
yego ati nikyo ekiro kino ekiro ky'Empango nikyo tugetera ate ekigambo Empango atwoki kikarugira nkakanda bakiba ikisere ekiro kino Empango abokuba abandi twe tusobola kuba tutakimanyire kira muno emyenda ya Bunyoro ento isobola kuba tamanyire the reason habwakitwetekire ekyo Empango oba kigambo ekyo kikumanyisa ki
awe bale mnatenyi Empango kirugo mu kigambo okuhanga kusana nko bano ogenda kulima otungire enfuka oinagiteekamu omuhini ogihange nuko otandike kugikozesa so hati Empango kigambo ekikuruga omukiro obukama obwo bwabaire nibuhangwaho nibutandika Empango nibagipanga netandika koraki
kukora
kulima so kirugiraho kandi ekintu ekindi ekibaho nti habamu enganda nyingi eziba zoona nizikwatwaho obora genda kurora habintu ebikutukwataho rundi kurolera enganda twine enganda ezikwika nka 52 so kikuba nikimanyisa ngu abantu abo boona abali hansi y'obukama obwo bagwa mu nganda ezo zoona 52 kandi buli ruganda ruina ekitwakwesere omulimo niko gamba baruteekamu ekitiinisa busaho Ruganda enganda zoona baziteekamu ekitiinisa kandi enganda ezimu nkeza abasiita abasuuli abakondo abahamba baina emikoro baba nibakora kiro eky'Empango egyo ekyokurorwaho kiri nti ngu abasiita beemera n'engoma yati bamulinde hakaswa nibagiteeraho nukwo omusuuli na kulembera abagona abaranga n'abantu abandi boona baba baroho nibagenda kutaaha karuziika nikyorora ngu oba notaaha karuziika ha bulyo bwawe obwa hamukono ahatali omukono gw'obulyo osangaho akaju akabombekera aho ako niho abagona abarango baikaraga bona nibetegekera kuba nti bagenda koraki bagenda kwegonza hamu hakire ekyo n'abantu abandi bona baitu haroho engoma ezindi ezahukanaho ekyo kulolwaho kiri ngu abandi batwala tibamulinde haroho engoma endi ya Kajumba Empango Kajumba nayo eba enyuma yegyo nekulembera kandi abasito babani bahayo engoma ya tibamulinde wo mukama oyesanga baheraho n'ebintu ebindi nke ensimbi abajungu ebindi bibetanka kawari shells n'obuntu obundi obugenderwaho habaho ne bakuli habaho na biki ebintu bingi ebikoraki kandi habaho na eitwa kweserenke enfuka ekwoleka obukuru bw'okulima omukama bwa bunyoro kitara ekyo nakyo tulina kyekaguza kikyali kintu kikulu ekitukutwara mu maiso rundi tukitwara mu maiso habaho n'oruganda orundi olwina kukwata omwigo gw'omukama nuko byono babihikye hali omu maiso g'omukama ojja kwesanga ngu abaho n'amacumu ge amacumu ago gali makulu muno omubuhangwa bwaitu habwokuba obutwagendaga kulwana bakama baitu niba ago nigo gabayamba gagenda kulwana entaro emundu nabiki byona bikaba bitakakozereke bitakaizire and then haroho entebe eyo mukama halaika regio eina irinka stool baita ina nka empagi mwenda around it halakoraki halaikara so ebyo na biri byokwega kandi ekingonza kubaijukia kiringu ombusumi obweira empango yabahoga emirundi ebiri omwaka yabahoga ombusumi bw'okugesa nikigaruka yenyuma kulingu bakagitunga ombusumi bw'okugesa bw'okwa bakaba bagesera babito baine ebyokulya then babiguramu actually engoma eno kuruga hala abasiita baitu hati ebintu bigenzere nibihinduka habo obwire nkunira n'esente zibamu obukama bukakiwamu kubaga nigutekaniza ekiro kino murundi gumu omu mwaka kandi ekiro kino nikyo ekiro ky'omukama anyakuroho aba ali hangoma ekiyaterireho engoma egyo ekiyagijumulireho
nikyo tu omukoro guno gukolebwa ebiro by'okwezi 11 omwezi gw'omukaaga buli mwaka
ego kandi ekitukwenda kwijuka ngu abakama baizire bali baingi ababaire nibaruga omubabito omukama otwina hati nuwo mukama wa 27 so abakama bona kutandikira hali mpugarukide wokubanza bona baizire niba rabamu ombintu nibyo bemu omukoro gono ogambirege buli ruganda rwino omukoro ogukolebwa hakiro kino hati nyowe ninyenda kubamanyisa aba viewers nti abanzara bahamba n'abazira wabahamba ogambirege abahamba bakwataki abahamba bakwata ekintu ekikusana nk'enfuka ekibaija nibasika batiriho n'akasaho ka oburo so mu procession egyo baba nibarubata kuruga hakaswa abantu aba bakulembeire abamu n'oruganda rw'abahamba abakora ekyo.
Oh, that's amazing. Kandi abazira
abazira timanyira oruganda emine omukoro kubakora baitu baba nabo abamu abantu abaina kubaho so enganda zona zibaho zisemererwa hamu omukama bwamara kora emikoro egiyone yaine kora nubona ayeta nibeta abantu nibaija nibakoraki nibaguruka nibatera makondere so amakondere is our traditional dance yaitu hali abantu basemererwa ekitumanyire ngo abakazi my mother tells me ngu abakazi tibayikirizibwaga kuba balina ebitambaala ha mutwe oba baga ne bazina amakondere ne gateera ne bazina empango. Baitu abazaire baitu na abakulu abandi batugambira ngu bayendagamu n'ekigambo mpango, bayeesungagamu n'okulora ngu bagenda kuzina amakondere.
We bali muna atwoki otugambirege ekiro kino kikolebwa kitandika biro bina tiniko tugambirege version y'olujungu kimala ebiro bina kane osula kutugambire ebiro ebyo bina ebyo kike kikolebwa buli kiro then nibo tusobole genda ha break yaitu.
Hati enyuma empango yamalaga ebiro 9 bagitegekaga neba ngo mbiro 9 ebyo hariho ebintu ebikwijja kuba nibikorwa kinni kiba hano baitu biro bino empango eno emala ebiro 4 ebiro 2 emikoro endi yona ebakaruziika hariho emikoro ekorwa ekiro ekya abantu bona kwijja kusemererwa hamu kitakabayireho egyo eba mikoro yabo inside rituals zabo zibakora. Then empango egyo nibagihimba nibagitwara owanyina omugo ekyo nakyo kiba kiro kimu. Then nibagaruka nibagihimba nibagitwara owomuntu obagambire ngu nuwe yasoboire kugamba ngo mukimanyire mpuuga Rukid nuwalibo mukama wokubanza mu babiito abantu byakibalize batakoleki batakikirize baitu kandi kiyabaho. So hati okunaho bagenda yo bakolaki ni ba celebrating ekirekyo. So in total bamara ebiro 4 ni bakyakora emikoro egyo eya empango.
Ni kimalira ne kiro kikuru ekyamani munekyo
ekire kikuru munekyo ekyamani kiri ekimu ha 2 ebyakaruziika.
Okay. Abatulirize itwena abatulirize ni yenu history ya Bunyoro tusoboire kubazaho kiro kino nitubagambira nti twijja kubantu garukamu again tugenda kuhumuramu twijja kubantu garukano omuntu ondi aina ebindi ebyarabana agarukaho kubaza mutulindirize mwikale kurungi for now. Webale tulugire ha break yaitu okumura kwaitu hati ntugarukamu kuba tugarukire kubagambiraho omuhali aba mukyara Hadijah tugambirege nti tukaba naba kama abina musanju hati nitwenda atugambireho abamu abakahali aba abina musanja batu abayira so batabamarayo bona kyonka habwa history yaitu kwikani yongere mumaiso kandi abantu kubamanya nitwenda omusomesa kati Hadijah atugambire abakama abo batwakaba nabo mu Bunyoro Kingdom. Bali muno atokigaruka
Ateenyi. Habo obukebo obwire obutwine twijja kubazaho hali bataito omukama obutwine hati Nowe Rukirabasajja Agutamba Solomon Iguru ayabaireho akabali Saatito Winyi baito mbaka mabo bona tubalizege hali Mpuuga Rukidi nuwe ayabandize omuhalabo baito mbaka mabo bona tuina omukama omu Rukirabasajja Kabalega ayazokere muno ayamanyirwe muno ayarwaine muno ayarwanirire obukama bwa Bunyoro Kitara. Omukama Kabalega habwakitumwijuka muno ngu abajungu oba baire nibaija mu Uganda bakaija na system yabwe y'obulemi ebayetaga divide and rule eyokutubaganizamu baine kigenderwa ngu bajja kwija basange enganda n'abantu abali mu Uganda basobole kubahukanizamu nukwo basobole kuba nti bakusobola kutulema. Omukama Kabalega al'omu hali abakama omu Uganda and Africa yona ayarwanisize okwijja kwa bajungu. Na habwekyo abajungu bachwamu ngu kabakoragane n'abantu abandi na muno Abaganda basobole kulwanisa omukama Kabalega habwokuba omululimi olujungu he is one of the main resistors of colonial rule. So abajungu baizire bakoragana n'abantu nk'aba Buganda, bakoragana n'abantu nk'aba Toro, nuko gamba amani goona aga Bunyoro yabaire ina ne Buganda eri hansi yayo I mean kingdom ya Bunyoro negenda mpaka Karagwe Tanzania, amani ago gonna tukasobora koraki tukasobora gaferwa. Kandi kitakangaho baitu omukama Kabalega yahika n'okuba ngu akafera mu exile. So itwe nk'Abanyoro tumwenyumirizaamu nti akaba amanyire ngu Abanyoro tukaba ntusobora kuba tuyina ntusobora obulemi bwaitu system zezabaire ziri nungi tukantusobora kwerema and atasobole kuhayo obulemi bwaitu for anything.
Okay. So, hati ninyetegereza habwaki buli Munyoro n'Omunyoro kati abagamba nyo mwana wa Kabalega. Nyo mwana wa Kabalega nozanisa habwokuba omukama Kabalega akaba musukama wa mani kandi akarwanirire hangali yaitu Bunyoro nesaha ya hati kituro hati. It's the reason amuhale obwo abakama abarwanirire muno ensi yaitu. Hati Hadijah musomesa waitu musomesa katu wa history nitwe oinayo kike kinde kyokwenda gambira abakutuliza kiro kinu ekibaina kumanya muno hakiro ky'Empango abo kwa kiro kinu tukubaza ekitulesera hanu muno kubazaho is Empango kike kinde kyokwenda abantu bamanye ekyokutekereza kitutamanyire itwe emyenda ya Bunyoro.
Webale Mnateenyi. Ekintu ekinakuteekerize ngu ekitukwenda abantu bamanye kiri ngu obuhangwa bwaitu tuyina garuka y'enyuma turole biki ebyabaire biri birungi omu buhangwa bwaitu nuko tusobole kubitwara mu maiso n'abaana baitu basobole kuba nti bakwegesebwa ebintu ebyo kandi tubiteeke tubihandiike habwokuba hati tukubibaza baitu abantu abamanyire ebintu ebyo bagenzire bona nibahuwaho nibarugomba omezi w'enseno twakugondize tugenda mu maiso n'okubihandiika twagendize tugenda mu maiso kutwara mu maiso ebirungi twakugondeze tugenda mu maiso n'okuhangana ekitiinisa bworora ekigambo ky'empaako. Empaako is a pet name baitu kintu kirungi muno habwokuba omuntu wena oba n'omuha ekitiinisa omweta tomweta Karo tomweta Hadijah twayetanganaga Atwoki Abwoli Adiel you know kiri nk'ekintu ekikwa omuntu ekitiinisa ekitakyaro hati omumaka gaitu tukweta John Sarah Hadijah you know Empaako tutukyazikozesa ngu twazikozesa so twakugonze tugaruke enyuma tuyihemu ebyo ebyabaire biri birungi tugarukeyo turole ombyokulya omulingo gutwalyaga yego oba okurora omusomi bwa Bunyoro obweira tuyina ebyokulya bingi bitwachumbaga kandi ebyokulya ebyo tukaba tutakubisiika tukaba tutakoraki so hato kurendwaire pressure biki tutukyali ebintu biri kandi tuyina garuka twegesa abantu babichumbaga bata babyahuraga bata habwokuba byonna tukaba tuyina preservatives ezaitu eziri nakyo na raga ebihimba nibabisiba kurungi nibabiteekamu neiju nibabihanika omu kibenga noihayo gakataito noihamu eiju hatarumu na buhuka. So ebyo byona tukwenda tugarukeyo turole emikubi yetu twagicumbaga tutaha bwaki naki byona ebyo tubikole ababaire baine enguli bakaba baziine. So twinagaruka yenyuma omubuhangwa bwaitu
baba munatuoki kutwijukizamu ebintu ebyeire bitubaire tutamanyire enyumba ntamanyire nteira nko bayahuraga bati ebyokulya. Hati nko bumbagambire ba viewers baitu atuoki atwijukizemu ebintu ebitwina kumanya nebitwina kwega era ntusima muno habwa history ege yatwaire kandi tujja kuba ntongera kubaza nawe ayongere kutuhaburaho ebintu ebimu n'ebindi akwandika akatabu ka Bunyoro history etugamba history of Bunyoro Kingdom. Atuoki Hadijah akwandika akatabu ako nitunihira mu biro bitali byahara ojja kuba nukaturukia na katugambira ntusobora kasoma kandi nokwegesa orunyoro abanyoro abakira ababiro binu emyenda ya Bunyoro ento tekumanya runyoro titukumanya ebyabayiroho. So nikyo tukwendera abantu nka Atuoki Hadijah kuba bahamu naitwe halaini nitubaza ha history ya Bunyoro Kitara. Mwebale muno kumpuliriza nitugenda ha break oba hakuumuraho tujja kuba ntugaruka n'omugenyi waitu ondi oba Kirokino. Ninyenda kutangira Amooti ajja kuba nabagambira amabarage kyonka empako ye ngimanyire niyo Amooti. Amooti bali muno kuija kuba hamunaitwe Kirokino.
Webali muno
gambira abakutuhuliriza amabaragawe tutandikiraho.
Webali muno Ateenyi Caroline. Amabara gange ni nyowe Judith Bigirwa Kisembo Amooti omuhinda kati nduga Bunyoro Kitara Kingdom in Hoima mwisaza lya Bugahya hati ebakweta Hoima is now municipality hati fokere ndi Mparo division kyonka nkaswerwa Masindi Kisita. Webali muno kunyikiriza kuija kubazaho ebintu ebitoito ebimwe binkumanya habuhangwa bwaitu wa Bunyoro Kitara kandi nokwegesa abaana baitu abato abali hano mu UK abataina ekibamanyire.
Hati Amooti bali muno kugambira abakuturora n'abakutuhuliriza Kirokino hati ekiriro ekinkwenda kukaguza iwe nka omuhinda ngambira oli buhinda muhinda kati kiki ekyokwenda abaana emyenda ya Bunyoro ento etaine kyemanyire habuhangwa bwaitu abo Bunyoro ekibaina kumanya hati kandi kiki ekibakusobora kwegumikirizamu ne bagamba ite tuli Banyoro nkanyowe hanu ningamba nkasubira Buganda kyonka ninyemerera mu bantu ne bagamba nyo mukondora hanu ndi Munyoro nzalibwa Bahamba kandi ndi muzira kati kiki ekyokusubira kugambira abaana bato abakutuhuliriza hanu Kirokino akiroki Empango.
Ntakabaire kugambira abaana bato nkwenda ekintu kinu kinakurugira kimu halitwe abazaire. Abazaire tuina omulimo gw'amaanyi muno tuina kutandika kwegesa abaana baitu kuruga omu maka gaitu obuhangwa hali baruga kandi abaana babe nibakyenyumirizaamu habwokuba kintu kikuru muno. Bunyoro ekaba kingdom y'amaanyi muno mu East Africa as a region. Abaana history gibakwetaga bagimanye hatiti nkaitwa abazaire na muno abazaire abali hano mu UK nihira na Buganda Bunyoro etandikire kufa habwokuba of course harumu kuswera mu bicweke ebindi mahanga agandi nko kugambire iwo kaswera hatoswera mu Buganda omwana kujja kukura ali mu Buganda baitu naiwe nko Munyoro oyina kurora ngo mwana wawe okumusikiriza kumanya haliwe oruga kintu kikuru muno. Ekikubandiza kimu tulina kulora abaana kakuba ozaara omwana nobwala ali muganda omwana omuhe empaako mweta kiiki mweta bwoli kandi omusobore habwaki aina empaako egyo. That is the first pride ya identity abaana kumanya identity yabo. Then amabara gabo obutuba tubahaira amabara hano mu bubajungu abajungu ojja kusanga omwana ali Smith. The Smith name niliyongera nili paka 5th 10th generation itweke kintu tutukina mwana bwogenda omuhaire ibara kasitaine eryo Luganda nilyeru baitu nabe oteekamu ibara eryawe eryokusobola omwana wawe kumanya identity ye naganyowe nduga bunyoro. Empaako yange ninyowa kiiki nobunda ndi muganda tubegese ebintu ebiri basic. Habukuba history sakuba yamaani muno history yaiteekaire negenda mu mutalibaine nka mugenzi wange kwa gambirege empango bakaba bolishingire. Hati abamwitu ebintu ebimu tukatanka kubyega ha history baitu nabazaire baitu baisenkuru itwe nibaikara nibabitugambira. Baitu emyaka yaite twabaire mwegyo yobute 70s curriculum yone kabefuire twatanka kwega ebintu bindi bitali ebitakwatagana muno na bunyoro.
Amooti obalize hale empaako mbaye nyenda abo kuba habo obwire butaito butali hamu nkwenda tugambireho empaako manyire ziri nyingi muno mbaye obire ebyo mbaye ninsoma history about empaako abakibazi tuhaire nambe za rugira abandi bani bagamba zina mu stani nikyolera abantu abandi bazeyaha abadoko abegarukiremu kyonka mbaye ninsaba ekitrijja kibaza okiro kinu kike kikwatagaine n'empaako tujja kutunga ekiro kinde kiturabaza hale empaako ezo habwaki abantu abandi batekereza zinamu ebya stani kyonka nkwenda otugambireho empaako ezokumanya omumutwe gwawe hati otabaza zona entaito zemanyire otugambire kikezi kumanyisa so hati nkanyowe ninyowa Ateenyi tutandike neyange Ateenyi manyisaki
webale kikaguze kyamaani muno habwokuba abantu bainga empaako nkukugambire baina kubazi interpretinga kyonka hati nyonko kunda kugamba Ateenyi twahuraga Ateenyi njoka ya muzizi atokyogo abairege hano akusobora kuba nabimanya konongi mu history kyonka nimanya aka empaako itwa abanyoro nabatoro kiwa kintu kikoro muno hati nkanyoinda Amooti haroho Amooti nibakugamba nayo kimuli kihameza or something akiki kimanyira kikiro kikura mahanga nikyo kurora ngo abakama baine empaako zabwezo. For example tulina empaako Opuli ezo ja kwesanga ngo ziri mu ababito muno Opuli okaki Chali hati kandi ezo ndibongera ndibakugamba zikaruga mu north nuko gamba empaako zina history yazo muno bakugamba mu north aliyo oburabano sobora kirora empaako zona zitandikana letter A so nibagamba ngo zikatandikira mu north gakama barago mu north ngo kutugambire ge dynasty zaitu zikabaho abatembuzi bachwezi nao babito hatina babito bogendo tunolire history yabo ja kusanga ngo bakaruga mu north kyonka nabo babito genda kubaho I think empaako ezo zikabayiro so ndibagamba Adieri twina empaako nka Adieri kado sango bunde ezindi ziri feminine ezindi ziri movo men's ezindi zabakaziri for example Achali tekusobora tibakusa kugiha omukazi Achali mpaako yabasaija Okali mpaako nayo yabasaija Apuli bagiha abakazi nayo mpaako yabasaija. So there is a lot of history around it which is somehow masculinity and feminism.
hata Amooti bali muno kutugambira hemu hali empaka ezo ezimu halizo empaka ezo tujja kutunga obwire obundi tubaze in details about those empakos habo kwekimanyire nyingi muno kandi zina habwaki baziha abantu habwaki omwana azaliwa kagambo no bamuhatenyo no bamuhatwoki no bamuhamoti zina amakuru gazo tujja kubebazaho kiro kinu kyonka nkwendo yongere kubaza ha mpango ekiro kinu kya kiro ky'empango omukama waitu Solomoni Gafwabusa rukira abasajja banganyire rukira abasajja ka Solomoni Gafwabusa ateire engoma umusomesa kati watugambirege ajumukwire engoma yagitera yagaruka yatanika kutulema tukwenda tubaze muno hakiro kinu kihe kyo kwenda abantu abakutuliriza abadi bakutuluhuliza nabakutulola kiro kinu ekyo kwenda bamanyi hakiro ky'empango. Empango kintu kikuru muno omu buhangwa bwaitu bwa Bunyoro Kitara kandi nko kugambirege ngo hati nk'abaana baitu baina kukimanya bakenyumirizemu hati nkabiro bino kwakwa kuswera bakulenga huga nibatera empangezo nibatera amakondere so it is like a social activity baitu kina a lot of history in it kandi ekitwa kwendeze naito abaana baitu even hano mu diaspora abaana baitu bakimanye ngokungambirega abazaire bona bakwetaga explaining gati hati abaana bakubaterireho ni bakirora ni bazina bokuba abaana bayingi if I'm correct bana bayingi 100% or even 99.9% tibamanyire empango kiki tibangimanyire yego empango nkoko mugenzo wanga akugambirege ikabera abolished ikagarukaho mu 19 ati umukama gya kweke emyaka garukireho akagaruka mu 1990s nubo bagigaruireho the whole of Uganda nanka zikabazirugireho kingdom zikaziri abolished because of the whole political reasons hati empange eno obuyagarukireho itu abaana baitu nkabali hano tebabaire na opportunity kumanya kuba involved mu kinteke baitu nkabani nkagulirizaho mu Bunyoro abaana hati bono batandikire kukijumbira muno haliki atandikire bakandi batekereza bintu y'abantu bakorubonga kyonka ati bayina mujwaro gwabo guba kujwara nkokojwaire oti atenywe bale kujwara korongi muno kutresekitini san kwa kazi bali suppose kujwara bajwara ni benagira bantu nibajwara amakanzu kurungi garoho ni mikonda yago amachumu engabo na symbols ezikuoleka obuhangwa bwa Bunyoro bajwalire kimune kitinisa guba mukoro gwa mani muno where aba kingdoms zindi zona zijja ni celebrating naito nko kuba kugambirege yaite kubaho ebirero kwezi 11 habo kubengoma egendo yajo mwirwe baita abana bakwenda bakiyege bamanye akaba kuja kutekereza niyonka disco hane ibagenda muni ba that is it baitu kina makuru gakyo okubagambirege habaho uburo ko exchange ngengoma enganda zona ziba involved I'm so lucky and blessed ngonyowe hali nkuruga ogwo muhanda nugwo gwanyina omukama so aho kiba kintu kikuru muno abana bona ba eri yegyo bona baba nanka yomugo nyina omukama ni ba celebrating okubanza batekerezage makondere genda kulya baitu batamanyire kiki kumanyisa so nko kungambire itu hanu itu naito tunakutanka kwegesa abana baitu empango kandi empango kiki habwaki habaho empango yego mwebale muno awebale muna Amooti nyowe nkakula nimanya amakondere gaba bitu habwokuba nyine enkulu nyowe aba mu bito kati twabaga ntugira mazina ga nyine enkulu waitu ntugamba itu ababito ntuzina dudu tiniko gagamba gatududu so webali muno kutugambira nti gano etabe just amazina g'ababito kati mazina gazinibwa hakiro ky'empango kandi ni nyenda muno kusiima kubaza muno hakintu ky'abaana kuma abana baitu bamanye omukoro guno abana baitu babe n'empaako abana baitu begese ku atwoki atugambire ge arugiroho gakwegesa tubegese ebyokulya bya bunyoro ebyokulya bya bunyoro what is our tradition kiye kitwina kulya ito nk'abanyoro manyira oburo kyonko oburo obo tulisaki
ati ekyo nakyo tukujja kundira kukibazaho wakasumya kandi habwokuba oburo ebintu byaite ebyokulya byaite bitulya oburo buli buro kiri kintu kikuru muno kandi buli nju yo munyoro wena ali hano amekingege shwangwa ina akaro omunju abana bakamanyi nyo kubandiza kimwe abana bange bunyaba introducingira akaro omwana wangu okubanza yaketaga chocolate nagenda ninkimwegesa but as I speak today that is the best dish they like. Okay. Kali nutritious kainamwe birisa bingi kyonka itano tugenda twikalire tukenda bali jerofu tukenda bali manye micherereta nitweberwa kimungu akaro ko mugaso muno hakumbeka mibiri kandi karumo obusera hata abana bamanye bana bakolera obusera nyenki akara banyo obusera bwoburo hano oburo tiburo no kusobora genda mu supermarket yona tojja kubusanga moyirewo supermarket ezaite za Uganda so nikini kingambirege nka mabara n'enganda tuinayo enganda abana baitu baina kumanya ruganda ki orwakurugamu ruganda rwa tata wawe nurorono ruganda rwa mama wawe nurorono bintu binge bitukusobora kwegesa abana hano mu diaspora kandi tuina kutekinga that responsibility abana baitu bakujja kubura bakujja kubura muno habukuba kaucha yaitu tugenzere ne tuginagane kandi nitugifurungura omurunyoro
webali muno Amooti Kisembo kutugambira harebemu ebikufa ha bunyoro kandi nokumanyisa abana baitu kike kibaina kora hati nitugenda ha break oba hakuhumura turole kike kitugenda garukaho tukole nitwenda mwebali muno kutuliriza abatwaini batuliriza n'abayikalire kura history ya bunyoro ne kira muno ekiro ky'empango ekituroho kiro kino nitwenda kumaliriza ntugamba rukira basayija Solomon gafabusa ntukwendeza ebirungi byona ntukutintekamu ekitinisa kandi itwe abana ba bunyoro bungereza nitugonza muno bunyoro kingdom